Hi, how are you?
Welcome to A Force Forward. My name is Kaushik and I'll be one of your anchors in today's episode. So today we're going to be doing more of a deep dive into how does the STEM play a key role in the educational process. Today we are joined by Dr. Ghassan Kridli from University of Michigan, Dearborn. How are you today?
Very good, thank you.
So could you tell us a little bit more about yourself and your experience as a professor in STEM and just your overall experience in STEM?
I started on a farm, and so a poultry farm that my parents owned in Jordan. And there, you have tractors, you have power generators, you have water pumps, you have feed mills, and you name it. So I was curious. I really just wanted to know, how do they work? What's the principle behind them? Why do they work? And when they fail, I would watch people fixing them. So I got curious. Well, the maintenance side of things and how on the fly you have to find solutions sometimes when you don't have the resources. So that really got me inspired about trying to play myself with things, and I caused more damage sometimes than I tried to repair because I didn't know what I was doing.
Very relatable.
But that's the way. You can't be afraid. You have to try. So I came to the U.S., pursued mechanical engineering education, and then later on I realized I wanted to be a professor. I enjoyed teaching, and so I pursued my PhD and got a job here in '97, and the rest is history.
You said that you started off at a farm and you talked about how that experience has influenced your path to STEM. Can you just talk a little bit more about why do you think that you being a part of a farm influenced going into STEM?
This is a great question. People don't realize that a lot of engineers and a lot of STEM professionals actually grew up on farms. I was in a meeting a few years back, and everybody was talking about rural communities in Michigan, and that they're not exposed to STEM. And actually, I think there were 7 of us. 6 of the 7 had grown up on farms and were STEM professionals. Everything on a farm is a mechanism, right? If you think about conveyors, you think about pumps, you think about tractors, you think about the power and electricity, you think about automation. It's all engineering and STEM and technology. And of course, you have the sciences where you're dealing with animals, so you have the biological sciences, and you're dealing with diseases. And
I have another question too. What do you think of as key STEM disciplines that you use in the everyday as a STEM professor here at UMich Dearborn?
STEM develops the skill sets that are needed to make you a successful engineer or mathematician or biologist or technologist, whichever field you go into.
Why do you think STEM is important in students' everyday lives at the university?
You want to design something new. You're designing robots. You're given a challenge. You have to be curious, about, I have this challenge. How am I going to solve it? So the next step is to make connections. How do I connect this knowledge that I've learned, whether it's through playing games or through classes? As a team is the value you add when you design is designing a robot that actually achieves the goals and gets you to win. Realize, especially what I really like about FIRST Robotics is that you are teamed with 2 other teams that you haven't really practiced with before.
Right.
And then right on the fly you come up with a strategy. So those problem solving skills are lifelong skills.
What would you like for students who are currently in high school or college to hear from you, a STEM professional and an educator?
So I think for anybody who wants to succeed, they really need to think about failure as a learning experience and to try something different and to challenge themselves.
Do you have a favorite kind of engineering textbook or something interesting?
These are not mine, but the space books. Mm-hmm. I'm fascinated with space. And, I got fortunate enough, the dean before me was a national hero. He was the one who came up with the solution to the Apollo 13 problem.
Really?
Yeah, he's, his name's Tony England. And so Tony was a great person. The going to NASA and to Kennedy Space Center and taking the tour and watching their movies, I was in the 1980s. It made me realize one thing, that in the world we argue about a lot of things and we fight over all kinds of things, but you think about where we fit in the universe and we're a speckle of dust. Earth is a speckle of dust in the universe. And you realize that there's so much more out there and it's just that's where I got my first fascination. I was always interested in science and extraterrestrial. E.T. was the movie when I was a kid, that came out about space. But it makes us realize that we're not the only ones out there, and there's a bigger universe that we're just part of. We don't control it. We're just part of it.
Do you believe in aliens?
I do believe in aliens. Not once. I don't know that they came to Earth or didn't come to Earth. I don't. But it can't be that we're the only intelligent planet with life. I really love Hollywood too with alien movies. So they're the intelligent beings who managed to come to our planet and we beat them.